All right, tough ball game. We clearly had some chances. We swung the bats well at times. I think we had 8 hits, and one of those was extra bases. Delamalures in the 5th, and then I think we went walk to follow that up, and one of 3 double plays that we hit into, and again we were in position in that inning. It looked like we had some things that were going to generate more than the one, and come back, and I think we in the bottom of the 5th got 2 quick outs and ended up giving up an 0-2 3-run home run. So that 5th inning appeared to be the turning point in it. They have very talented arms. From start to finish, their arms were good, and we punched out at a clip that's not going to allow you to force them into a lot of mistakes. We punched out 12 times. I think they struck out 5 times. We walked 7. We tried some things, trying to make some adjustments to maybe help be a little bit more consistent in attacking the zone. But maybe not so much today. And again, a couple of the hits that hurt were in counts where you're trying to finish people and strike people out, and we obviously did not do that. So tough, and that's a good team. And you have to execute, and you don't have a huge margin of error, and their swings damaged. We had some good swings, but not a lot that actually damaged, and we had some opportunities and guys that had delivered for us and will continue to. It really wasn't in the cards tonight. We hit into 3 double plays, and if there were chances to try to create a little bit more, I wish I could have found a way to do it. But they played a better game, and when you play a better, more solid game in this setting, you tend to win, and they did.
It feels like you guys are just searching for the big hit at the right moment right now. Just do you feel like you're getting the quality of at-bats that you want to see, or is it just trying to get more consistent quality?
Sporadically, I think we are. Not overall, no, I don't. And when you're not getting enough quality at-bats, the pitch selection and the ability to make the kind of contact you need to actually generate more extra base hits, you need to have a third or more, easily a third or more of your hits should be extra base hits if you're going to be in a position to do some damage. And we had 1 of 8, and they had 3 of 6 were extra base hits, and that's really the difference. But when you also walk 7 people and only strike out 5, and offensively we punch out 12 times, you can see how difficult that might be to work your way out of. I thought we played solid defense. I thought Lodis made a couple really nice plays, and I was fine. Carnes, a couple really things that were well done behind the plate. But again, the command and the put-away capabilities on the mound, and then a little bit tighter navigation of pitch selection and at-bat is the difference. And that's a huge part of the game. So it is a small difference, but ultimately in this sport, those are huge things. And we haven't done them as well in the last several games as we have previously.
The last 4 being the quality of arms you face in the last 4. I mean, you're going to have plenty more series. I imagine the rest of the way of facing that quality is. What lessons do you hope guys can learn from going against that quality of arm with more on the schedule?
Yeah, what the secondary pitches look like and how to kind of stay within yourself as the velocity increases, then the secondary pitches create a little bit more vulnerability because you're a little more geared to mid to upper 90s type fastballs. So then you become a little bit more prone to maybe chasing some of the secondary pitches. So that push and pull dynamic of seeing a little bit more velocity and then maybe a tighter, better secondary pitch, especially for some of the younger guys. And we have a good group of younger guys in this thing right now. Chase Williams will be back this weekend, and that's a piece. In whatever way we decide to involve him, like that's a good piece. But overall, the velocity combined with the better off-speed pitches, some of the guys that haven't been in this before and repeatedly had to deal with that are learning it on the fly a little bit, and that's part of the growth. And we need to try to find ways maybe to create a little bit more offensive gamesmanship for a couple of them. But those are tough lessons to learn on the fly here, and some of them are in the thick of it right now.
What are you gonna do to try to not let this 3-game losing streak like spiral out of control going into conference play next week?
Look, it's about the execution of the stuff, and I've told you guys that throughout the course of whether we're winning or whether, in this case, we are not. It's pitch execution with quality stuff, at times in the strike zone and at times out. Step one. Game control on the mound. When things come up, you have to be in control of the game. I thought that was, overall, that was fine today. The savviness of the defense and the anticipation of what's going on defensively, I think that's been fine. But then it's the less than 2 strike hitting piece. And then half of the at-bats will be with 2 strikes. I didn't get that number tonight, but over the long haul, half of the time you walk up there as a group, it's going to end in a 2-strike count of some form or fashion. And you have to be a little bit more adept in managing and yet not chasing. Some of the strikeouts were on pitches clearly out of the zone, and there were a few that we took pitches that were too close to take or in the zone, clearly. So that's it. And I don't worry about the makeup and the moxie of what's going on. You just have to saddle up and get back to the executional pieces of this. That's it. The guys are fine, but the execution is not.
One more. Do you have an idea? You can talk about it Thursday if you want. Do you have a timeline maybe for how long you might be without Jackson? I guess how much do you think you miss his quality of at-bats?
Gets tough. He brings a dimension to it that the on base and the energy and that sort of thing and the spraying it around. I don't know yet. Like, he's had a couple things done, and we have to see how that takes before we know where he is. But Chase had live at bats in the middle of the thunderstorms yesterday in the cage, but he looked good, and I'm excited about what he brings to the table. You guys just haven't had to see. I think he's gotten to play in six games, and he brings a nice layer of dimensions to the game, and it will be nice to have him back. He was out here diving around today. I think Jackson's a little ways off yet, but not way off, but I think there's a little time required still.